Picture this. A lake so wild and loud it's like a rock concert gone rogue. Water's splashing everywhere, inflatable rafts are flipping, and pop music's blaring through speakers so big they could wake a coma patient. Then, a shrill voice cuts through the chaos. Mion's freaking out, and it's not me. That's Lisa, the self-appointed queen of this shoreline, thinking she owns every inch of this lake. And there I am, arms crossed by a rickety dock, watching it all unfold like a slow-motion train wreck. Why haven't I stepped in? Well, let's rewind and unpack how my quiet slice of paradise turned into this circus. Years ago, I stumbled across this hidden cove, a place so untouched it felt like the world had forgotten it. No roads, no signs, just a dirt path leading to nowhere. The air smelled of pine, the water was clear as glass, and the only sound was a loon's haunting call. I fell in love. This wasn't a weekend getaway, it was my life. I built a cabin with my own hands, each nail a promise to keep this place wild. Driftwood decorated my porch, and I spent my days fishing, watching sunsets, and guarding the land from the creeping sprawl of suburbia. Then one day, a gaudy sign popped up at the old turnoff. Crystal Cove Community. Gold letters, big promises upscale, Ing, nature-friendly design. I figured it was some developer's pipe dream, far enough away to leave me alone. Trucks rumbled in the distance, hauling concrete and steel, but they stayed across the inlet. I kept to my routine, thinking my sanctuary was safe. Then flyers started showing up in my rusty mailbox. Bright, tacky things with cartoon fish and palm trees, inviting me to meet my neighbors at the lake. Neighbors? The nearest property was a mile off. Something felt wrong, but I brushed it off, hoping it'd fizzle out. I should have known better. Soon, gravel roads widened, speed limit signs sprouted, and decorative planters appeared, as if you could tame the wilderness with a few petunias. Then she arrived, Lisa. She marched up my driveway in a neon VY soar, clipboard in hand, her voice sharp enough to strip paint. "We're thrilled you're part of Crystal Cove," she chirped, tossing around words like covenant compliance and architectural guidelines. I just stared. My land wasn't part of any HOA. She must have seen my confusion because she flashed a smile that was all teeth and no warmth, promising it was for the greater good. She left me a glossy packet full of nonsense about unified aesthetics and property values. I tossed it aside, but Lisa wasn't done. She kept coming back, nagging about my fence, my lawn, even my porch chairs. Community standards, she'd say, her voice drowning out the wind in the pines. Then, the kicker, they slapped a Crystal Cove sign by my gate, claiming my private lane as a neighborhood route. That's when I knew this wasn't just annoying, it was war. Lisa's HOA started nitpicking everything. My porch was structurally suspect. My wildflowers were non-compliant. They even sent goons with measuring tapes, scribbling notes like I was running an illegal operation. I tried to stay calm, even went to one of their meetings in a shiny new clubhouse. Lisa stood at a podium preaching about community unity. When I pointed out my deed excluded me from their nonsense, she waved it off, claiming their updated map included my land. The other members just shrugged, eating up her lies. Things got worse. A group held a picnic right by my cabin, dragging coolers and radios onto my shore. They strung fairy lights in my trees and tried to break into my boathouse, thinking it was communal. When I told them to leave, they laughed, saying Lisa gave them permission. A newsletter followed, bragging about the lakeside social and implying I was all in. Lies. I was furious. I wrote a letter spelling out my property lines and warning against trespassing, but before I could send it, Lisa showed up again, acting like we were buddies. Picture it, she gushed, sun umbrellas, a DJ booth. I told her no way, but she brushed it off, calling my objections minor reservations. Minor? She was trampling my life. The lake changed. Deer stopped coming. Egrets vanished. Bonfires crackled at night, and rowdy shouts echoed. I called the cops, but Lisa's HOA had enough pull to dodge trouble. I felt alone, but I had a secret weapon one Lisa never saw coming. Years back, I'd register my land as a federal wildlife sanctuary. It came with legal protections and a unique responsibility. I housed rescued alligators in a restricted wetland area. These weren't pets. They were part of a conservation program, levying in a marshy pocket marked with clear warning signs. Lisa either ignored them or thought I was bluffing. Big mistake. She kept pushing, hosting potlucks on my lawn, paddleboard races that scared off herons, and mocking me online as the antisocial hermit. A neighbor once cornered me at the store, suggesting I let the HOA do whatever because it was good for everyone. I bit my tongue, biding my time. Behind the scenes, I consulted a lawyer friend, gathering my deed, sanctuary documents, and proof of my boundaries. He said Lisa's claims were baseless, but her charm had swayed the community. We needed the perfect moment to strike. That moment came with a flyer announcing a massive Lakefest on my land. No permission, just Lisa's signature and the HOA logo, promising DJs, fireworks, and beer. She'd gone too far. I decided to let her dig her own grave. Workers hauled in tents, kegs, and a slip-and-slide that snaked dangerously close to the marsh. I stood by, silent, watching them mock my grumpy demeanor. They had no clue about the federal regulations or the alligators lurking nearby. The big day arrived, and it was chaos from start. Cars clogged the road, music shook the lake, and over 200 people swarmed my shore. Lisa flitted around in a ridiculous hat, crowing about our shared water. When some guests questioned my property signs, she laughed them off, claiming old boundaries didn't matter. I stayed on the sidelines, noting every olation fireworks near Pines, a generator by my boathouse, kids scaring nesting birds. By afternoon, the party was a drunken mess. Then it happened. A group of wasted idiots crossed the caution tape into the restricted marsh, hollering about finding the gators. I tried to stop them, but the music drowned me out. They splashed deeper, laughing off the signs. Suddenly, a scream pierced the air. A dark shape shot through the water, brushing past them. They stumbled back, tangled in reeds, their laughter turning to terror. The crowd thought it was a prank until they saw the panic. Lisa rushed over, yelling at the DJ to cut the music, but it was too late. I spotted an alligator's tail slicing through the murk, and the intruder's curses became desperate pleas. I ran in, shouting for them to get out, but they were too drunk to listen. Whispers spread. Alligators? For real. People grabbed their phones, filming as panic took over. Lisa's authority crumbled. She begged everyone to stay calm, but those reptilian eyes in the water said otherwise. Paramedics and deputies fought through the crowd. One guy had a minor bite, more a warning than an attack, but it was enough to spark chaos. Someone knocked over the generator, sending sparks toward the fireworks. A volunteer doused them just in time. Then, a news crew showed up, cameras rolling as they grilled Lisa about permits and wildlife laws. She stammered, glancing at me like I'd save her. I just stared back. This was her mess. Wildlife officials arrived, furious. They knew my sanctuary status and couldn't believe Lisa's audacity. They cleared the shore, herding the gators back with practiced calm while the crowd gawked, realizing these weren't just wild animals, but federally protected ones. Lisa stood frozen, her smugness gone. By midnight, the party was a wreck, trash everywhere, sirens wailing. An officer handed Lisa a summons for trespassing, illegal fireworks, and endangering wildlife. She babbled about uniting the neighborhood, but no one cared. The news crew caught every tearful excuse, and social media lit up with clips of her downfall. The fallout was brutal. Investigations revealed Lisa's HOA was a sham, unregistered and funded by community fees she pocketed. Lawsuits piled up negligence, environmental damage, fraud. She faced fines for trashing the wetlands and civil suits from injured guests. Her fake HOA was dissolved, and rumors swirled she sold her house to pay legal fees. I gave depositions, my sanctuary agreement airtight. Lisa's claim that she thought I was bluffing didn't hold up. The community turned on her, embarrassed they'd fallen for her lies. I started cleaning up, helped by county volunteers who apologized for Lisa's scam. The environmental damage bulldozed reeds, trampled nests wasn't easy to fix. My alligators were unharmed but stressed, and we worked carefully to restore their habitat. New signs went up, clearer than ever, and the county backed my sanctuary status. Slowly, wildlife returned: egrets, frogs, even herons. A neighbor who'd bought into Lisa's hype apologized over coffee, admitting he'd been dazzled by her talk of progress. It was a start. One morning, I saw a MOVYing van at Lisa's old place. She was gone, probably spinning new tales elsewhere. I didn't care. My lake was quiet again, the breeze carrying the scent of wildflowers. A local group helped replant reeds, and we worked in silence. No HOA nonsense needed. The lake would heal, but it'd take time. New signs at the road declared the sanctuary official, and VY siders respected the rules, wary of repeating Lisa's mistake. I'd sip coffee on my porch, watching the water shimmer, knowing I'd fought for this peace. Lisa's fiasco taught me something. Nature doesn't bend to human ego. My alligators weren't the danger arrogance was. They're a reminder of boundaries older than any HOA. I posted online, clarifying my land status and welcoming respectful VY siders. The response was overwhelming. People thanked me for standing firm. One comment stuck. We messed up. Thanks for not GIVYing up. That's all I wanted: respect for this place and its creatures. So what do you think? Was I too harsh, letting Lisa's party implode instead of stopping it sooner? Should I have compromised with the HOA to avoid the chaos? Or was standing my ground the only way? And what about Lisa? Do you think she deserved her downfall? Or was she just a misguided dreamer? Drop your thoughts below. Hit that like button if this story got you fired up, and subscribe for more tales where nature fights back. Let's hear your take. What would you have done?